What's up, everyone? Today is September 12th. It's it's a Sunday. So the market is closed today. I decided I would go ahead and make a video covering my TWS setup, my trader workstation setup. Um, just all the logistics with how I enter and exit positions. How do I have my layout set? So basically, not really focusing on any charts today. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on just how I enter, how I exit positions, everything in regards to the execution portion of trading. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this in two parts. First, I'm gonna go over my layout, and then second, I'm gonna describe how I enter and I exit positions. I did decide to make this video just because I felt like this video is long overdue. A lot of people were asking for my setup, so I just decided to go ahead and knock this video out. Okay, so let's get started with the layout. You can see that I have my TWS split into a left section, a middle section, and a right section. So in the left and this middle section, I have the level 2, which is this top left section. And then I have the time and sales, which is this middle section right here. So I know a lot of traders who use the level 2 and time and sales very, very religiously. I personally do not do that. I will have the level 2 up just to see if there's any big orders placed on the ask or bid. All this lets me know is if there's, a big buyer or a big seller on either side of the spectrum. And all I really use a time and sales for is just to see, okay, if we're breaking a major technical level or an increase in volume, I really, really want to see the tape speed increase. So that's really all I use the level 2, the time and sales for. I could get rid of the time and sales and the level 2 and it would not affect my trading at all. But I just like to have it up. Okay, below that I have the order entry, activities trade, and activities order tab. So what do I use these three for? So the order entry is very, very simple. It's basically how I execute my trades. So I have this set on standard mode. Let me see if I can go ahead and show you settings. Okay, so there's three settings: interactive, simplified, and rapid. I know some people use simplified. I personally just like to use interactive, which is I think the standard one. So it's pretty standard. You know, you have buy and sell. Oh, give me a second. Okay, yeah. So you have buy and sell. You can describe what price you want to enter, how many shares or how many contracts you want to buy, and then just press the submit button. So order entry is very standard. Below that, I have activities trade and activities order. So the activities trade portion will basically tell me at what price did I get filled and what are the commissions for the trade. Below the activities trade section, I have the activities order tab. And this will essentially, this is essentially where all my waiting orders are placed. So I'll give you an example. Best way to describe all three of these. Say I take, just let me go choose a random strike. Say I'm playing 4 contracts of the 28-20 calls, right? Say I want to get in, so I would just type in 29. And then say I press my order, right? So what will happen is initially my order will sit in the activities order tab. So if my order is sitting in the activities order tab, all that means is I haven't got filled yet. My order is trying to get filled. I also have the ability to cancel or modify my order when it's sitting in the activities order tab. When my order gets filled, it will populate in the activities trade area, and it will tell me the exact price at what I got filled, and what the commissions and what from what exchange I got, how many contracts I'm playing. So basically, that's why I have the activities trade and activities order tab. Say I put a buy limit at 29, I don't get filled. I can just cancel my order. There will be an option to cancel, and then I can just put a new order at maybe 29.50. So that's the left side. The middle is just the time and sales, which I discussed. In the top right, I have the option, the what is, the option chain, and below the option chain is very very standard. Every trader who trades options should know what an option chain is. Um, my settings are volume, delta, bid, and ask, so I keep it very very standard. Essentially, I have a lot of people who ask me what contracts I play. So I will always, or 9 out of 10 times, I will always play weekly calls just because I'm a day trader and the premium spike on weekly contracts. So I like playing same week expiry. So now, how do I go about choosing my contract? So what I'll typically do is I like to play out of the money because they move faster, and then all I'll do is I'll play the contract with the most amount of volume. So say I want to play Google, go ahead and choose 10 strikes. So I would play out of the money, which is below here, and then I would just choose a one with okay delta and good volume. So volume is the main thing for me. I would much rather play the 2850s over the 2840s because the 2850s have a lot more volume. With delta, I just want to make sure that delta is, like above zero point 0.1. I don't really look at delta too much. It's just, okay, whatever contract I'm playing needs to have a good amount of volume. So that's the option chain. With the watch list, I have two watch lists comprised of the same exact stocks. Let me just go ahead and clean up some of these. Okay, so I have two watch lists comprised of the same exact stocks. The reason why is it's just a lot easier to navigate things. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but you can see that on the level 2 time and sales, all of the orders, option chain, and watch list, I have a certain color linked to each individual one. So if you want to pause the video, you can pause it and link it exactly how I have it linked up. I'll go ahead and explain later what the linking means. But I'll give everyone a minute if they just want to go and link it exactly how I have it linked up. Okay, so hopefully you've linked it the way I have it linked up. The best way to explain this linking is I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'll go ahead and give you an example. Say I'm trading Apple. So what I do is I'd go over to the first watch list, click Apple. So when I click Apple, you notice how the option chain, the order entry, the activities trade, and the activities order tab all switch. So that's the first watch list. And then say I want to play the out of the money, I probably play the 152.5s because I have the most volume. All I do then is I click the 152.5s. Now what happens is that will change the order entry. So now all I have to do is click buy, determine how many contracts I want to play, and then just execute my trade. And then with the second watch list, I would also click Apple because now that changes the time and sales and the level 2. So now I'm all good and ready to go and trade Apple. So I think it's a very, very efficient way to set up things. I'll give you another example. Say I want to trade Amazon. I'll click the first watch list, determine which ones I want to play. So the 3480s because they're out of the money and have good volume. Now go over to Amazon and click it on the second watch list. So the level 2 and time and sales will populate. So that's everything regarding my layout. I'm just gonna go over. I'm gonna spend a couple minutes now going over how I enter and exit trades. So 9 out of 10 times, or 9.5 out of 10 times, whenever I enter trades, I will tend to mark it in. I know a lot of people are probably wondering, okay, what if the spread is $1? What if it's $2? Honestly, I do not care as long as the contracts have good volume. Because I trade so selectively, I need to make sure I get filled. The last thing I want to be worried about is not getting filled. I'm not even trading every single day. I'm just taking the highest probability setups. So that's exactly why I will mark it in just to make sure I get filled. Plus, because I do trade on interactive brokers, they give me very, very good fills. When I mark it in, they will fill me below the ask. And when I sell my position, they will fill me above the mid. So that's entering. If I'm in a losing trade, I will also just mark it out because I don't want to play games. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will take the loss. I accept it. I mark it out and I move on. Um, so now when I'm in a winning trade, I will not mark it out. What I will do is I will limit out, and I limit out with what I call a bait out strategy. So the best way to explain that is just to give you an example. Say I enter Amazon and I get filled at 33. So the price of Amazon is now moving aggressively. Say the bid is 34.50 and 34.9. So what I will do is I will just go ahead, place a sell limit slightly above the ask. And the reason why I do that is when the contracts are moving aggressively in my favor, all I'm doing is putting a limit a little bit above the ask as a bait. Imagine I'm a fisherman, I'm throwing my cast into the water. All I'm doing is, as price is moving in my favor, retail traders who are the fish will aggressively bite, and I will most likely get filled. So whenever I'm in a winning trade, I can just play around. If I don't get filled at 35, cancel my order, put one slightly above the mid, maybe 34.95. And then as price moves more aggressively into my favor, say the bid is now 36.20 and the ask is 36.70, I will go ahead and put a limit at 37. So that's pretty much it in terms of how I enter and I exit trades. I hope I did a clear job of explaining my layout and how I enter and I exit positions. Sorry if my voice is a little bit squeaky. I'm a little bit sick, so that's that. I will definitely be around to trade tomorrow and for the rest of the week. So I hope you guys take it easy, and we will be back to trade tomorrow.